We're live.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
All right. We're live.
We just spoke to Dana on the phone, so I know she's joining us.
Are we doing communication? Dana there. Letting them. Mr. Russo, you want to get the show started?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started if we can.
Okay, I'll call the roll for the October 19th Library Board of Trustees meeting. Ms. Carlisle,
Here.
Ms. Crenshaw,
Here.
Ms. Llewellyn, Mr. Gerbach,
Here.
Ms. Iwamoto,
Here.
Mr. Russo,
Here.
Mr. Toracchio.
Here.
I certify that the notification of this meeting of the Library Board of Trustees has been made. First item of business is to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held September 18th, 2020. Any additions or corrections from anyone? Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Our only non-board members here is Nicole Erlinger from the Staff Association. Lori Murata is in the conference room. Nancy's in her office, and Kim Naderoak is at home. The financial report for the month. Things are holding pretty steady, and as I previewed I think at the September committee meeting, that our tax revenue came in almost $275,000 more than what the county auditor had estimated. And technically, this brings us back to actually what we last received in 2017. 18 and 19 were 2.7 and 2.6. So we had a lot of people paying their taxes that I don't know if it was delinquencies or what. The one new addition to the packets is we do have the CARES Act funding now. Page 7 of the agenda, we'll have financial reports for the CARES Act for September through December. So the last time you'll see that will be in January because we have to spend all the CARES Act money by December 31st. Any questions? Do I have a motion to approve financial and investment reports for September?
Hey, Debbie,
I'll make it.
Yes, ma'am.
hold on a second. On page 3,
Yes.
on unencumbered balance,
Yep.
I think there's a calculation error.
In general fund, where?
The total at the bottom, where it says 17,665.
Oh, yeah, that's Well,
not
yeah, I think that is off. I'll have to double check that.
Okay,
Thank you.
Please fix that. Okay.
Yep, I will. Any other questions, comments? Motion?
I'll make the motion with the correction that Nancy pointed out.
A second?
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? The next item is a resolution to approve an increase in the credit card that is issued in the name of the fiscal officer. The credit card limit for the finance office was previously $3,000, and since the pandemic has happened, we've been purchasing a lot of things online, and when you go online and want to order it today, if you want to wait for a purchase order, it might be gone by tomorrow when we can get it done. So I would like to have my credit card increased to $5,000. The facilities director and security manager, neither one of them have credit cards. So when they're looking to order PPE equipment online, they come and use my credit card. It says Deborah Herman, but it says Cleveland Heights Public Library. So anyone have any questions or concerns about that? Do I have a motion?
Make the motion.
Pardon me?
Any second?
A second.
Ms. Carlisle,
Yes.
Ms. Crenshaw,
Yes.
Mr. Gerbach,
Yes.
Ms. Iwamoto.
Yes.
I'm trying to let Ms. Llewellyn in. I can't do two things at once. Mr. Russo,
Yes.
Mr. Toracchio. Ms. Llewellyn has joined the meeting.
Hi, Dana.
Next item is the Personnel Committee report, Ms. Murata.
Okay, the October report, the water report is a summary of what we did over the summer and before, well, when COVID first occurred. So I'm going to go through the summary, starting with the pandemic. The library closed on March 13th due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Library staff are instructed to stay home. The library board of trustees approved wage continuation through May 31st. June 1, we started bringing back some employees and reduced capacity. We offered a early retirement and early separation incentive and voluntary furlough to some employees at that time too. Employees that return to work, you know, we return them in reduced hours. We put them into a shared work Ohio program where the employees could continue to work and also receive a prorated unemployment benefit. There were a few employees that were able to take advantage of the federal pandemic unemployment assistance program because they did not qualify for regular unemployment in the state of Ohio. So that was a good thing. We also, over the course of the summer, as you know, we started to increase hours for employee hours. And by mid-August, we ended the voluntary furlough period for those that chose it by saying that if you were called back to work, you had to come back unless you were covered by any of those exceptions that the governor issued in his executive order. And then up to current day, as you know, as of November 15th, all active staff that are on board now are going to be restored to their full hours, either 40 hours a week or 20 hours a week. And with that, we still have 19 employees that were paid employees who are still on furlough, have not been called. And we eliminated 2 full-time positions. One was our shipping assistant, and the other was a maintenance technician. So where we are now is that I'm going to move on to job vacancies. And if you look at the board packet, you see a list, you see the job vacancy report that you're probably familiar with prior to the pandemic. You can see that we have 16 vacancies. And that is because over the course of the summer, we had some natural attrition turnover. We had the separations and the voluntary retirements. And we did not fill any of those positions. So we're in a position now where we have 16 job vacancies. And just to note here that although staff are coming back to full hours November 15th, we're not increasing the hours for public. But we have learned that the workloads have not decreased proportionally to the hours being reduced. That, working with COVID, has, staff and all of us have had to change the way we work. And in some cases, some of the work that you did in the past now has 3 or 4 more steps to it. We are planning to expand the hours in January. And so in order to be ready for January at full hours and full staff, we need to start filling some of these positions. And we are going to start right now. We have 2 that are being posted internally. And then we're going to post 2 full-time positions later on this week. So we're going to go for 2 circulation assistants and 2 technology assistants. The technology department took a big hit, and they have, you can see, the continuing education department, you can see how many openings they have. Any questions related to job vacancies or staffing, employment action we took over the summer? Okay. We also added a little section about the Families First Virus Response Act, and several of our employees have benefited from it. We did have a handful of employees who were seeking a COVID diagnosis. As you know, none of our employees today have had a test positive. So with the FFCRA Act, those employees were paid by the library for their time off when they were seeking the diagnosis. We also had a few employees take advantage of the 12-week paid family leave, which was also paid by the library. Although for the 10 weeks, or for part of the time they're off, the law says you can't pay the employee less than 2/3 of regular pay. We reduced pay only 10% rather than, so they were going to pay 90% rather than 66% of salary. And currently we have 2 full-time managers that are out on the family, the pay. We have 2 interim employees who have stepped into the role and are assuming the responsibility of the managers during the leave period. They've been really something. I'll move on to benefits. We have, as you know, every January, or we don't remember, but every January our dental plan renews. This year we have a 2-year rate, and there's no increase. Our dental plan was with Nationwide. Nationwide business got sold to an insurance company called Reliance Standard. We did go out and shop, but we ultimately decided to stay with Nationwide and being acquired by Reliance for the sake of, no change to plan design, no change to the co-sharing structure or the rates, and therefore it's one less thing for employees to have to re-enroll with the new carrier. So the resolution to allow us to enter a contract with Reliance is followed. Before we do that, I just want to summarize a couple other things on the report. Since I have been here all summer, I'm talking right now. Ohio deferred compensation, some good news there. The Ohio deferred compensation has added a raw option for public service employees, and so we'll be offering that January 1. And then the annual performance evaluation process kicks off pretty soon. We're working on that, and we are going to conduct employee evaluations for 2020, even though not all of us were here for the entire period of 2020. As you know, some came back in May, some just came back in September. So what we're doing this year is that we are going to do provide feedback, and we're not going to have a rating system. It's going to be a conversation on the work that, you know, the employee was able to achieve while they were here during the COVID period of time. So we'll be doing that. January 1. So that's all I have for this month, and then we have a resolution for you to consider to adopt new dental coverage.
As you can see, the dental plan has a 0% increase, and they are offering a 2-year rate guarantee on it.
I'll motion to approve.
Second?
I'll second.
Any further questions? Ms. Carlisle?
Yes.
Ms. Crenshaw?
Yes.
Ms. Llewellyn?
yes,
Mr. Gerbach?
Yes.
Ms. Iwamoto?
Yes.
Mr. Russo?
yes,
Mr. Tarapia?
Yes.
Nancy, did you get a report from the Friends for this month?
I did not. I just know that they continue to work in the basement and sort books, and that Cheryl delivered 1,000 books maybe over to the school districts so that they could be distributed with the food pantry items last week. So the Friends are continuing to make a very large impact in getting books to all of our customers and friends in the area. And I'm really proud of the way they've stepped up, and they're continuing to work even during COVID. They're being very careful, but they're getting a lot done.
Mr. Russo, do you have any President's Report items?
I don't, but I just want to encourage everybody to vote. If you haven't done it already, get a ballot, mail it in.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, Ms. Levin, the Director's Report.
So I'm not going to read this, but I did summarize our COVID response, both in staffing and in programming. And we continue to think creatively about how we can still offer services despite the shutdowns. And now that we are aware that the county is a red county, that's not encouraging. So we will continue to have socially distanced activities where possible. We have a lot of book kits and art kits and things going out to people, plus all the Zoom meetings. The library served as a poll worker training site, and Debbie scheduled training for 30 days, 2 sessions a day, so that was 60 sessions. So we're very proud of our help that we've given them. There weren't too many other places they could meet, and they took 2 meeting rooms and had people socially distance, and a lot of training occurred. We also were a training site for the census, and we just got a thank you note from them yesterday or today, just for being flexible with them, because they had things going and then they had to cancel. And now it looks like the in-person counting is ended. I think I put in my report, in my government report, that 67% of Cleveland Heights has been counted, and about 71% of University Heights has been counted as of today. And they're starting to update the census information on the internet. And we use that information for all kinds of things. I'm sure others do too. So it's a higher count than we've gotten in the past, but it's still not complete. The library is participating in a dementia-friendly training initiative that Benjamin Rose is sponsoring, and staff are invited to take the training this Friday. And then we will also be offering it to the public. And they're very simple things that people can do to make life a little bit easier for someone who has a brain injury or dementia. And since it is such a growing issue in every community, we feel happy to be able to help a little bit. And Pat has agreed to offer memory cafe kind of programming. And also we're going to be compiling some book kits for people with dementia that include books that are written especially for people with dementia, who are adults who don't want to read a children's book but need a little simpler presentation. So we'll be working on that in the next few months. Ty reported that the AMH, the sorter is up and going, and it's sorting thousands of books a day. So that makes us very happy, and it certainly couldn't have come at a better time with COVID. And I did present a voter forum for the League of Women Voters. I was the person who spoke about the history of public library funding in Ohio and why things are the way they are, why our trustees are appointed by the school board, why they have to appoint or approve our school levy or library levies that are separate from a school levy. So all of that information is available online for anyone who would like to see it. And then finally, I just wanted to thank Gabe again for the gorgeous mural in our parking lot, and it has gotten so much good attention. I'm just couldn't be prouder, and it looks so great, and it's so colorful and bright. And I know you've seen it, but people stop there, they go there just to read it and to kind of show some solidarity. I think it's awesome. I would love to figure out a way to catch responses to it somehow while they're there. We'll have to figure something out, but that's been just the highlight of the whole fall for us. So thank you again, Gabe. And then I went right into the communications report from Cheryl, and she delineated the reopening of the computer and browsing services. We've made so many changes. I know it's hard for the public to keep up with them all, but hopefully each time it's just opening and opening. So we're at least providing more services. And I know that a lot of people have told us that they're so happy to be back in our buildings. They really enjoy the staff. They enjoy getting their own books. And you can tell by our circulation that it's growing and that people are taking advantage of it. But they're not hanging around, which is great because that's not safe. So I think we have the right balance right now. And hopefully we'll be able to do more in the spring. I'm just reading through Cheryl's report. She relaunched the YouTube channel, so a lot of our videos are located there. If anyone wants to go back and see the programs that we've been offering, including the very popular 1619 and the program last month about African-American people living in Cleveland Heights that went from 1900 to 1960s. That was also very popular. Our Facebook likes have grown. We have had an 11% increase over the end of 2019. And we have a lot more Instagram followers, which I'm sure are in response to the amazing Book Face Friday posts that everyone seems to be enjoying, and especially the person laying down on the ground with the toe tag. That was a great one. And then Cheryl shared the website visitors over time, so you can look at those reports too. And then I'll just keep going to the government report, which I already mentioned, about the census, and our PLF is coming in much higher than we anticipated. So that's all good. All good news to report.
Kim, you want to pick up the public service report? You're muted.
Muted.
Thank you.
That looks better.
Yes. All right. So we've got a lot of highlights that you can all read on your own. Some of the things Nancy's already mentioned. The programming that we are doing is well received and popular, although obviously a lot less than we have done. Under the circulation report, I do have an anecdote from Ty about how with the beginning of browsing in late September, we already saw some increases in our average door count and pieces of material that customers are taking out. There's a very long report that you can look at your leisure that kind of highlights what each branch is doing throughout the month, and that's the month of September. So he's been doing that for us the whole time. We do hope to see increases with October, the first full month of browsing. We will hopefully see some really significant increases in our circulation. Continuing on, I don't think I had a lot to share with everybody. So you can take a look at that. And then, does anyone have questions about the public service report Okay, I'll just go on to the stats. The circulation breakdowns on page 26 of the packet. One thing I do want to let everybody know is that during the month of September, our RB Digital holdings have been transferred to Overdrive. So what we'll see probably in the next month or two is that I'll be eliminating that line that says RB Digital because now they are owned by the same company. I shared that with you several months ago, and we knew that that migration would take place. It has started. A lot of the content is now under the umbrella of Overdrive and the Libby app. So a lot of our web links actually just take customers straight to Overdrive. So the complexion of this report will change a little bit as RB Digital is phased out. Are there questions about that? Okay, I'll keep going. The circulation numbers that are on page 27, they sort of bear, they don't show those increases in circulation just yet. Again, I expect that we'll see those in October with the first full month. However, if you turn the page to page 28, the visitor numbers, you will see have already started to increase over August. And I took a look, we had 21 days of service in both August and September, the service that we had open to the public. So those increases are indeed very real from August to September. An increase of almost 2,000 visitors during the month of September. So hopefully October, those will just continue to climb as customers are able to come in and get their own materials. So that was a very quick report from me. Are there questions I can answer about anything?
And in the meeting rooms, I do reflect the sessions with the census and the people that were here, but starting this week, they are done with their poll worker training. Poll worker training. I wasn't able to capture the census because they had a lot of rooms booked, but the reports I got from the branch and circulation is they weren't using the rooms that I think, they booked in anticipation of getting people. And I don't really know how many times they were actually here, but the numbers on the meeting room are the poll workers training, and those did all occur. And we don't anticipate having any public meeting use of the meeting rooms through the end of this calendar year. The next item we have under unfinished business, I sent you around 4 o'clock a revised resolution on approval of the lease with the Coventry Peace Park, Inc. That was a little bit more detailed than what I put together on Friday. This one was written by our attorney and goes into more of the language of the terms and the lease and that. Does anyone have any questions, or Nancy, you want to review that with everyone? You're on mute.
Nancy, you're muted.
I did just send to the board a summary page. It's a 2-pager about the lease, and that will be included in a press release that Cheryl will send out probably tomorrow. But I am very pleased that it all came together in the end, and that the terms are advantageous for both parties, and the library will not be supplementing any expenses over time to the tenants. There is a provision that we will help them with any maintenance over $10,000 at a time, but they will pay us back for that. And that is only in the first year. So, and you'll see how the rent escalates year over year. And then in the 4th year, it starts escalating by 3% from $2,000 a month. So I think in the end, we all had things we wished we could have done, and that's probably a good sign that not everyone is completely thrilled, but it is a very fair lease for both parties, and we wish them all the best. We hope that we will see all kinds of success, and we look forward to doing programming with the tenants, and we have the opportunity to use the space a couple of times a year, And with COVID, that might be needed. We'll see how that goes. And we're just looking forward to moving ahead.
Yeah, the summary was helpful, Nancy. Thanks for sending that around.
That was
Because
from Anthony.
there may be people that ask us questions, and rather than dig into a 30-page lease, this is a lot easier. The Cliff
Right.
Notes version.
So we would like you to just, I guess, affirm that you agree with the lease, and that is a resolution for tonight.
Nancy, I just had a question. I think I've looked at all of these documents. I think it was on your summary where it was the tenants will pay, and there was a dollar amount that seemed pretty big, of utilities every month until 2022.
Well, for the first year, we are paying all of the utilities. We are still, they're all still in our name.
Okay.
So the purpose of this clause is to get them to slowly move them over to their name. So as they do that, we will take that out of the $10,000 estimate for utilities, but that is about the cost of all of the utilities. That includes also some maintenance agreements.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the cost of operating the building.
10,000 a month, really?
Yeah. There's some months when the electric and the air conditioning is going. June, July, and August, the electric bill itself has been close to $8,000 or $9,000.
Right, it's a very big building.
This is like an average that we might be building up some money in the fall and winter, but then once the air conditioning goes on, that'll lead into it. But we do look at that once. I've created a spreadsheet of listing all the payments that we're making, and we'll have like a true up. And at the end of December next year, if we spent more than $120,000 in utilities, they'll owe us. But if we spent less than $120,000 in utilities, we'll give them money back on it then.
Right.
So like the
And again-
Dominion budget plan.
Yeah, I know. And then the goal is also to get them to slowly, give them a year to get everything off of our name.
Okay.
And that way it'll be a clean transition at the end of this term, which will be in December of next year.
I think it's good.
Okay.
Any other questions, or do I have a motion?
I'll
Make the
motion.
motion.
Oh.
Okay.
I'll give it to Mr. Gerback and second to Mr. Russo. Ms. Carlisle,
Yes.
Ms. Crenshaw,
Yes.
Ms. Llewellyn. Did I lose her? I think we lost her.
Yeah, I think she dropped off.
Okay. Mr. Gerback,
Yes.
Ms. Iwamoto,
Yes.
Mr. Russo.
Yes.
There she is.
Dana?
Dana, are you a yes? It looks like she's frozen. Dana, are you a yes on the resolution?
Just put your thumb up. We can't hear you.
I lost service for a minute. I'm back. We're voting on the
Yes. Are you a yes
on the lease.
Yes.
Yeah, I apologize. I was on the move, but yes, I did read the summary. I talked to Nancy earlier, so yeah, I read over the summary. Yes.
All right, thank you. The last one we have is this morning.
I'm a yes too.
Oh, I'm sorry, because I got caught up in looking for Dana. This morning, Mr. Passberg, our facilities manager, got a quote to do some flashing and waterproofing on the roof at Lee Road. And because it's over $10,000, it needs to come to you, and we'd like to get this going before the weather turns to cold. But it's put rubberized membrane and seal around the chiller unit that was just installed on the roof this summer. And the cost is $13,625, and we're going to take it out of the building and repair fund that we have.
Is that in the materials, Debbie, that you sent around? I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
It was an addendum this morning I sent out.
Okay, got it.
Came with the lease.
Yes, when the lease came, it was part of that.
It was like a not to exceed 13,000 and change, I think.
Yep, $13,625.
This was we got a really big rain about a month ago.
Labor
And
Day.
in the, over the years, whenever we've gotten a terrible rain, we have had a leak in the AV room. And it took a lot of investigating to figure out that it was coming from around the cooling tower on our roof and migrating through the whole building and coming out there. So we're hoping, and it did a lot of damage this last time. So we're hoping that this will fix that, and we can not have to worry about water in the AV room, which is kind of odd because it's on the first floor. But we're hoping that this will solve that. So, and the roof is 20 years old, so 15, sorry.
There are $2 in that number at the 13.6.
Oh, yes, there are.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions or motion?
Special.
Do we have a motion?
No motion.
Second?
Second.
Ms. Carlisle?
Yes.
Ms. Crenshaw?
Yes.
Ms. Llewellyn? Dana?
Yes.
Mr. Burbach?
Yes.
Ms. Iwamoto?
Yes.
Mr. Russo?
Yes.
Mr. Rakia? Any other items to go to the order? Do I have a motion to adjourn? Nobody
I'll
wants to.
motion.
Mr. Rakia and Ms. Crenshaw. All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Meeting's adjourned at 7:07.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Thank you all so much.
Have a
Bye.
Stay
good
safe.
evening.
Stay safe.
you. Bye-bye.
All right. Good night, everyone. Sorry about the miss.
We got you.